affected in that building? What more can you tell us about that?
Well, precisely, Yvonne. Yes, indeed, it was a residential house, a house that that is between Pandia Memorial Hospital and Baraki Girls, and it was families actually reside here. It is a house that is it's not a story building, but looks like it was under the wall was quite on the higher side than the roof of the house. And that is what came down crashing. And looking at the wall, the remaining part of the wall, it's quite clear that it was actually a death trap in the waiting, because the wall is actually quite feeble and looks like it is a wall. It is actually something that had that could have happened. It's a tragedy that was actually in the waiting, because it's still quite shaky, and you don't know, because there are still more houses on the other side of this particular area. And that this could actually even perhaps become even bigger should nothing be done on this wall.
We're seeing from the live pictures on the screen, Red Cross officials. Can you tell us which other authorities are present? What sort of equipment, if any, are they using their bare hands? Do they have any specialized equipment? I know this happened just about half an hour ago, but what can you tell us about the nature of the rescue operation?
Well, at this juncture, of course, it is only what we can say. The rescue mission is not so sophisticated as you may say. It is residents who are living around here, members of the public, and also the Kenya Red Cross trying to help. And what they are doing is actually there is no any sort of sophisticated equipment, but they're using bare hands to try and get to the bottom of this debris. And these boulders, actually, the wall that came down, it came down, of course, leaving huge boulders. And therefore, you can imagine how they are trying really to carry them, push them aside. It is raining very heavily. There are so many people complicating, of course, the rescue mission. But right now, we're seeing the law enforcers, their numbers actually increasing here. We are seeing more police officers. And what they're doing is to try and help move aside the crowd, trying to control the crowd here so that they don't really come in the way of the Kenya Red Cross, or they try to rescue, or they try to really establish whether there are more bodies here. But what is making the whole thing difficult, it is the rain. It is raining quite heavily, Yvonne.
Talk to us about the rain. We can see, could it be hampering or reducing the speed at which the rescue operations can go? Is there the belief that the rains that have been pounding the city of Mombasa may have had anything to do with the collapse of that wall next to the building?
Well, experts may come and tell us later on about whether indeed the rainfall had everything. But from the look of things in the scheme of affairs right now, it has everything to do with the rain that is pounding this particular area. It's not the first time that we've seen walls actually coming down here in Mombasa, and this one is not any unique. Looking at the way the remaining part of the wall is gone, you can actually tell that indeed it was a tragedy in waiting, because it is quite hanging loosely. It's an old wall, and we're actually wondering, because it's between two institutions, that is a whole private hospital here and a secondary school. It is quite curious why perhaps no one really noticed on this particular tragedy. A couple of months ago, we had actually reported of another wall that fell at Mburukenge area in Chuda, just to show you that there are serious structural issues here with buildings in Mombasa, something that has not been really acted on by authorities here. And they will be having a lot of blame really to take on from this particular exercise. But at this juncture, right now, that discussion has not really kicked off. Right now, everyone is keen on really going down to the debris, trying to see whether they can be able to rescue any of these people. I had a small interaction with someone who had just come from that particular house, of course, telling of how chilling it was. It came down in a matter of minutes, really crushing the entire wall and the stretch that was on the left part of this building, and that is what came down. There is a huge tree that also was quite near, and it also fell down. Therefore, you can actually imagine the impact of the falling wall. But right now, we are seeing actually police officers now trying to take charge of affairs, and we expect in the next couple of minutes, should the rain actually die down a little bit, we may actually